when the recruiting process begins for a family, they always come to me and ask what they need to do to begin getting recruited. And it's common that they ask, can we make a skills video, or when should we make a skills video? What families and athletes need to understand is you first have to develop as an athlete, and that is physical and non-physical. On the physical side, when I talk to an experienced athlete that's maybe been training and doing strength and conditioning, they're further along in their process of preparing for college. When I talk to a new athlete who's new to the recruiting front, maybe they haven't been in a gym yet, or they haven't been working on their skills. Recently I was talking to two athletes, one of which who's been very committed to development and strength and conditioning, and the other who's fresh and new to the whole process. Both of them are recruitable athletes. Both of them will play college ball. Both of them are very skilled in their sport, but on two completely different spectrums of the recruiting landscape. And the reason why is, I asked the older athlete, I said, you have a certain physical presence about yourself. When you step on a field, people notice you physically. You're strong, you have a certain posture, a certain build. And I asked her, I said, what size shirt do you wear? What is your performance weight? And she was very specific. I wear a size small, and my performance weight is 144. And she's very seasoned in being an athlete, so she knew this metric and this information. Well, then I asked the younger player who was new to it, and I said, what about yourself? And she said, well, I also wear a size small, but I only weigh 117. And I started to talk to her a little bit about performance weight and what she feels is going to be her strongest physical attributes. And you can tell she was very new and fresh to the process. She didn't know a ton of information about that type of physical importance. That's the type of stuff we want to talk to families about, and we want to help athletes with. Before you can get out into the recruiting world and market yourself to a coach, you need to understand what's important. And when you step on a field, your posture, your presence, your physicality, that is important. That's going to set you aside from the others. You're going to get lumped into one group, and a group that the coach says, I want to watch her more. Now, once she says, I want to watch her more, now what is the college coach going to look for? It's not necessarily the physical aspects. Now we're getting into the makeup of the athlete, the how they deal with pressure, how they handle adversity, what's the attitude that they portray on the field. So the second conversation we have to have with families is making sure that the makeup of ourselves is also marketable, and it's also something that a college coach will want in their program. A prima donna is something that over the past few years programs have settled for. A player that's got great skill but just doesn't have the team attitude. Well, we're starting to see that change, and the college coaches are not willing to deal with that anymore. So we need to have honest conversations about the non-physical things of athlete development. And that completes the whole recruiting circle. Let's first understand your physical presence, but then let's also understand your non-physical presence, your leadership, and your makeup. So when a family comes to me and they ask about recruiting and we want to make a skills video, or can we put a resume together and email coaches, the first thing we got to ask them is, are you marketable? Are you ready? Do you have the physical makeup? Do you have the internal makeup? And usually the answer is not yet. So at Fierce Rhino, we want to help close that gap and make sure an athlete is truly prepared for what a college coach is going to want.